I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We're in the first period of this Game 7 of this best-of-7 series. Bridgman is a penalty killer for Philadelphia, along with Gorance. Gets the draw, and it's cleared down the ice by Murray. Reagan stopping it. The shots to this point, 2-0. Calgary, the only 2 shots on goal, and they're bidding for more now on this power play to center ice. Coming in, that's Nilsson cutting for the net. He can handle it. Played it back in front, Reinhart! And a great save made. Here's another shot by Lever. St.Krua looked great as he made that big save. And Philadelphia will clear it down the ice.
A good save by St.Krua, but a heads-up play by Kent Nilsson.
Well, and glove pass brings the face-off back inside the Philadelphia line.
Watch Kent Nilsson. He had dropped the puck on the short side. Everybody chases him behind the net. That allowed Reinhart a clear crack at it, and Tom Gorance had skated in front and just got a piece of it. And then Lever will come in there and take the rebound. But you have to watch Nilsson throwing that puck to the short side while he's circling behind the net.
1:18 left in the Philadelphia penalty. There's no score in this first period. Reinhart near the blue line, stopped it for Calgary, gets it again, another drive, that's deflected, but right down in front it comes. This is Lever looking for some room to Reinhart, closing in, and the shot knocked down, they kick at him, they do it all, but St. Croix hangs on to it, and he is hot in the first 2 minutes of this game.
Well, that time Willie Plett had good position. The only trouble is that Bailey had a hold of his stick. That's a good way to... And unfortunately for Plett, he had no way. There's the glove. Look at Bailey. Smart play. Now the rebound is there. There isn't a thing that Plett can do to except try to kick at it.
1:03 left in the Philadelphia bench minor. No score in the first period. Must game tonight for these two teams. It's number 7 in this series. That's Barber. Clearing it up on the boards and down the ice, and Reinhart coming back for Calgary. Being watched closely by Bobby Clark. Now Nilsson carries, hitting the line. He's at center ice. This is Nilsson looking great again. Coming in with the brakes on now. Back to Reinhart. Back to Nilsson along the boards. To Reinhart. Good position. He didn't shoot it. It's rolled over here to Nilsson again. 35 seconds left in the penalty. This power play by Calgary looking good. But they've come up empty so far. There's no score. Lever took a shot. That hit a skate. Another drive. They score! Great power play. They work it around beautifully. 1-0 Calgary.
Well, that's something that the Flyers have been doing to the Flames, scoring on their first power play opportunity. But tonight, number 25, Willie Plett. That guy, I'm telling you, the way he has played this year, his position. Now that's the time Frank Babe had to come and take him out of there. You can't let Willie Plett stand there all by himself and get a piece of that puck. As soon as the puck is shot at the net, Plett has to be taken care of. That didn't happen. The Flames lead it 1-0 on a power play.
3:03, the time of the goal. Plett from Chouinard and Lever. 1-0. Calgary on top of Philadelphia. Nearing the 4-minute mark now of this first period. The Flames shoot it up to center ice, knocked down by Wilson. Apparently he gloved it. And Bruce Hood, the referee, is jumping right on them. Philadelphia drawing another penalty. Wilson closed his hand on the glove. Wilson, Philadelphia, delay of game. He closed his hand on the puck.
Well, did he ever? He must have got it stuck in the glove area. Couldn't get rid of it. He'll hang on to it. Still got it in his hand. Finally put it down. Referee Bruce Hood whistled it down, and the Flames have another opportunity on the power play.
Now play just underway. Big break for Calgary. They're leading 1-0 on a power play goal already. Coming in, Chouinard hitting the line. He'll try to set it up from there. And it's called offside. 5-1 the shots at this point. They played only 3:40 and Calgary on top of Philadelphia.
Well, already the Flyers are doing something different. They're backing up. They're not challenging on that blue line the way they did the last game. Even though the Flames have a power play opportunity, they did challenge, especially in Calgary. Tonight, they're backing up. Flames are able to cover and come into the zone.
Bridgman poked it back of his own net for Bailey. He'll shoot it away for Philadelphia. Nilsson, number 14. Reinhart, 23, skates in front of the net. Coming out is Plett on the right wing. He couldn't handle the pass. Bailey coming back from Philadelphia, back in his own net. hooked it up on the glass. It's kept in by Chouinard, takes a shot, hit a leg. And there's Goritz, he's trying to clear it, but he can't move it out. Reinhart played it in along the boards to Nilsson. Took a shot over it in front. It's cleared now by Philadelphia down inside the Calgary line with 1 minute left of the penalty. Wilson serving 2 minutes. Delay of game. 1-0 Calgary. Here they come again. This is Lever cutting in. Took the shot and it's grabbed by St.Croix and he hangs on to it.
You know, your special teams can win games for you. Here, the second power play for Calgary. They have to go all out, try to score another goal. McNeil and Paget, very confident coming into this game. They said, look at the players. They don't want to go down with a bum rap, losing 3 in a row. They're going to come up with their best effort, and it showed so far. With the help, of course, of those 2 power plays, they have dominated early in this period.
That's Bill Clement, number 10, for Calgary. They're in the red uniforms, Philadelphia in the at-home whites. Bobby Clark, number 16, for Philadelphia. Played it back to the zone net as he got the draw for Bathe. Bathe had some difficulty, tried to hit Barber. Reinhart stopped him. Back of the net is Houston. Houston taking a look around into the corner. McMillan slides it back. Rodicalio waiting near the blue line. Took a shot. It's deflected right into the pads of St. Croix. And the goaltender is down to cover up.
You know, it's a real break when you have a couple of guys that are willing to get in front. One shift, you throw a Willie Plett out there. The next shift, you throw a Ken Houston. Kenny Houston got a goal the last game in Calgary on a power play. Look at Frank Bathe, struggling, trying to get possession of the puck down on one knee. There's a guy that has played hurt for the last 4 games. Probably shouldn't even be dressed, giving it his all.
Clement with Houston parked to the right side, right in front of the Philadelphia net. On a power play, 30 seconds left, and Wilson's penalty. It's 1-0. Calgary leading Philadelphia. Bathe for Bobby Clark. He'll get rid of it on the boards, and it goes down the ice inside the Calgary line. 20 seconds left in the Philadelphia penalty. Calgary with time now to get one more rush going, but they'll have to move it. 15 seconds left in that penalty, and here they come. This is Houston from the right side, shooting it in. McMillan chasing it off the boards. Back of the net is Houston. Cleared it the other way for Clement. He and Barber butt together, and there's going to be a penalty to Calgary. Barber was upended. Play is called, and only 1 second left in Wilson's penalty. Then Philadelphia will have the man advantage. Bill Clement of the Calgary Flames draws 2 minutes for hooking here at 5:18. Giving Philadelphia the man advantage in another second.
Well, normally Bill Clement would be out there killing the penalty, but not so this time. And the Flyers on the power play. Wilson's back.
And there he is, Wilson. Played it up to Linsman. Here he comes, the speedster. Linsman up over the line, still has it. Worked it around inside the blue line, gets it back. Wilson lost control, it comes right in front of the net, scrambled for it, right in front of Reagan. Reagan hasn't had to make a save. Yes, just 1 save so far. There's Linsman centering it. Back off the boards to the line. And Barber's shot. Play is called, and we're getting another penalty, I believe. Skirmish in front of the net. Referee Bruce Hood, not very popular here in the Spectrum. Holmgren is gone at 5:48. Look at it.
Well, there's no question on the penalty. Holmgren really grabbed a hold of Russell and prevented him from chasing that puck. That is the one thing that could hurt the Flyers tonight, is the amount of penalties they take.
Linsman steals it in the corner for Philadelphia. Gets it back to Wilson near the line. Intercepted. McMillan can really go. He's got a breakaway now. McMillan right in. Shooting. And he missed the open net. St. Croix was out of the goal. He tried to go around him and didn't have much of an angle, and he missed it. Now Prop coming in for Philadelphia. He took a shot. Reagan gloved that one, and he hangs on.
Now you look at number 11, Bobby McMillan, talking to himself. Had an opportunity on the breakaway, but it showed the tremendous speed of Ben Wilson to come back. Look at, he's breaking, trying as hard as he can to finally hook the puck just to the side, and it looked like McMillan still had a crack at it, and it just slipped off the end of the stick, because had that shot been on the net, would have had a goal.
Clement has 1 minute and 4 left to serve in his penalty. Holmgren of Philadelphia 1:34. So at the moment they're 5 aside. Calgary leads 1-0. Bobby Clark with Leach. Cochran is on the defense with Busnick. That's for Philadelphia, and Calgary is starting to move it now. This is Radicalio across center, going in with Murdoch. Murdoch gets a shot. That's deflected into the crowd behind Rick St. Croix.
Number 27 of the Flyers, Reggie Leach, has really struggled in the playoffs, and you really got to feel for the guy. He's always been a top playoff contender, getting his points, getting his goals. Who can forget the one year? He just put in so many. Finally, he's been inserted in the lineup again. I don't know if it's a hunch by Pat Quinn that maybe the guy will get his act together.
Clark moving out with Leach now. Let's see what happens on this two-man break. Not much. Clark stopped at center. Radicalio has to come back for Calgary. Laid it down the boards. MacMillan tipped it to center ice. Coming down Poplinski. He's up over the Philadelphia line. And his shot is in wide. MacMillan tries to keep it in. Near the blue line, he cannot do it. Leach got away from him. Leach comes in over that line. Leach passed off to Clark. There's his shot, and Reagan covering up on the short side. Back for Poplinski now to center ice. MacMillan coming in. MacMillan getting a drive away, and again waiting too long. He was bumped by Cochran, who deflected the shot into the crowd.
Jim Poplinski didn't play much in the last game, but McNeil figured that the big guys, the guys that can handle themselves in the corner, will play a very big part tonight. Poplinski is one of those guys, along with Houston and Willie Plett. Grind it out. That's what they talk about. Let's grind it out tonight.
1-0, Calgary leading. Now Gorens is trying to do something for Philadelphia. He's up over the line. Gorens passed it in front. Reinhart got back and got his stick in the way. Reinhart bumped by Bridgman in the corner. Bridgman comes up with it. He stumbles. Couldn't make a play. Staying with it though. Gets it off the boards back to the blue line and now to center. That's Nilsson coming in. He's in with Plett. Nilsson moving around. Dipsy doodles over along the boards. Gets it back to Reinhart. Reinhart taking a look. Throw it in front of the net. Shot! Knocked away by St. Croix. Nilsson just uncorked it. Didn't wait a second. Put it right on the net. Now Bailey for Philadelphia. He finds an opening to clear it. 4 seconds left of the Holmgren penalty. Now he's back on. And the teams are even. 1-0, Calgary leading. Nearing the 8-minute mark of this first period. And a penalty coming up against Philadelphia. Nilsson is upended inside the line. They're getting a little hot now.
Bob, the Flyers are losing their cool right now. They're not taking very intelligent penalties. That's the second bad one by Holmgren. And again, if they continue to take those penalties, not only the possibility of Calgary scoring, but they're going to tire out your key players, your key penalty killers.
Holmgren for tripping here at 7:57. So again, Calgary, Gary, with the man advantage, and I'll tell you, their power play is something to behold. They control the puck and pass it around so beautifully.
Well, that's something that they've worked on all year. Their power play, every single practice, the unit or the two units that they use will go over different plays. But it's the guys without the puck, the ability to get themselves in the clear and wait for that shot, get away from your check, and you just know that Calgary will always have somebody in front of the net.
The Calgary Flames with a big opportunity now to open up a 2-goal lead. They're leading 1-0. And here they come on this power play to center. Chouinard to MacMillan, and his hard shot is just wide. Reinhart near the blue line kept it in. It comes in front of Lever. He gets in front and missed the open side. Has scrambled for it. Houston put it back through the crease. And it was cleared down the ice.
You know those puppies right in front of the net, the way we call them, the Flames are right there in position. They're just not sharp to put those things in the net.
Now to center ice is Chouinard coming in for Calgary. They're really going tonight. Here's a pass to Houston. He scores! Houston, a beautiful setup by Chouinard, and very quickly it's 2-0 Calgary.
Well, they didn't make any mistake on that puppy. By golly, what a heads-up play by Guy Chouinard. Again, getting the blue line. Everybody backs up, so why not go across that blue line? Coming down the right side, Ken Houston. Chouinard, perfect. I mean, Terry Murray went right through his legs on the pass, and let's watch the way St.Croa sees it. No chance. All Kenny Houston did was just direct the puck in the net. But that's number 2 on the power play for the Flames.
Gary, you mentioned the other night about Philadelphia not losing its poise and professionalism. Now they're down 2-0, nearing the 9-minute mark of this opening period.
4 penalties so far by the Flyers, 1 by the Calgary Flames, but I thought they'd taken 2 real bad penalties so far, and can't do that.
Houston is 4th in the playoffs. Chouinard, Reinhart assisting at 8:33. It's 2-0. Calgary. Prop missed a pass. It went to Holmgren, and he, of course, was offside, so they'll bring it back inside the Philadelphia line. A great jump for the Calgary Flames.
Well, the shot total is certainly indicative of the play. When you get those power play opportunities, you're going to get your chances. There you see it, 8-3 for the Flames. But the Flames have to keep pressing. You can't sit back and try to protect that lead. Go over the next one. You have to have that killer instinct in you.
That's Poplinski, number 24, getting the draw. It slides into the corner in the Philadelphia zone. Cochran played it around the net to the other side. Busnick having some difficulty getting away, and Calgary seem to be more effective with their forechecking now. They're sending 2 in.
They're skating. That is certainly something that they didn't do very well in the last game.
Hislop along the boards, and he's stopped right there in his tracks. They come in bumping along the boards. Wouldn't take much to get them all going. But of course, both teams know how important and what's at stake tonight. 2-0 is the score, Calgary on top, and they're nearing the halfway mark of this opening period. You just can't take too many penalties in a game like this.
Well, Cochran trying to get things going for his troops, and Poplinski just keeping his cool out there. He is too valuable a hockey player to be sitting in the penalty box. And I think that is certainly the game plan from Calgary. They know that when the Flyers fall behind, a lot of times they get overly aggressive and take those bad penalties. It's shown here so far in that first period.
9:09 gone in the first period. And we're set just inside the Calgary line. They'll drop it in and start it from there. Here it is. This is Russell stepping away from one check. Gets it up to center ice. Gould didn't see it. Now he does. Backhands it up to the Philadelphia line, and Wilson missed Holmgren. Marsh from center shooting it down. This could be icing as Wilson goes back. It is. Icing called against Calgary. 10:35 remaining in this first period. 2-0 the score. Calgary on top of Philadelphia. This is game 7 of this quarterfinal. From the draw in the Calgary zone, Riggin poked at it with a stick to make sure it was in back of the net. Radicalio played it up on the left side, and the Flames shoot it to center. Plett trying to move in on Cochran. Cochran got there first, and Lever takes over at his own line. Backing up Radicalio to Lever. On the right side, it didn't work. McLeish picked it off in the center ice area. He dropped it back. Now here's Cochran coming in. Played it in across the line. And Radicalio from the corner. Backhands it up along the boards. It's not out. Cochran took a shot. Nowhere near the net. Lever will try to clear it. He can't do it. It's kept in by Busnick. Bridgman went after it back to the net. Riggin out of the goal to clear it, but not out. Now the Flames shoot it down the ice. That's Busnick coming back. 9:45 left in the period. 2-0 Calgary. There's a pass to McLeish. Hitting the line. McLeish coming in. Nearly got through, but Murdoch stepped in behind him and took it away. Down on the right side, this is Nilsson coming in again. There's his shot, and that's blocked up the defense by Babe. Babe trying to move it out. McLeish will shoot it to a far side, and here's Gorance coming in. Gorance winding up a high, blistering shot off the glass. Penalty coming up against Calgary. And finally they touch it back there, and here's a penalty call against Calgary.
Kenny Houston coming back with his man, interfered with him. And the referee, Bruce Hood, right there watching, so Houston will go to the box.
Got a moment here. We want to say hello to Brant Haywood, one of our directors from Winnipeg. Unfortunately, Brant had an accident the other day while playing racquetball, an eye operation at the Winnipeg Health Sciences Center. They tell us he's great listening to us tonight. Hello, Brant, and get well soon.
Yeah, Beaner, the next time you'll think about playing tennis, big boy, we're pulling for you.
Calgary Flames 2, Philadelphia Flyers no score. Houston of Calgary A penalty now. And here's Barber on this power play, sliding it along the line to Wilson. Off the boards, Nilsson can't pick it up. The Flames will clear it. Bill Clement, one of the best penalty killers in the league, shooting it down the ice.
Very disciplined by the Flames, not coughing that puck up. They're making sure that they have control of it before icing it. Almost imperative Flyer score in this power play.
There's Linsman swinging in, jams on the brakes and gets it back. He's trying to get it back to Barber, but look at him again. Bill Clement picked it off.
Well, those are tough plays when you throw the puck rink wide. There's always somebody that can intercept. You have to try the short passes rather than the rink wide cross ice.
There's Holmgren swinging across center. He's coming in with Barber and Linsman. Linsman played it in on the side. That's McLeish. He's bumped right away. Can't make a move. In back of the net. It comes back to Barber near the blue line. He doesn't shoot it. Gets it over to Wilson. Just barely kept it in. Wilson at the blue line. Flipped it back of the net. Holmgren is in there against Russell. Laid up on the boards by Marsh. Hislop had a chance to move it out. Couldn't. Barber winds up on this power play. Right in front it comes. A scramble forward and Bill Clement again. And he lifts a high one down the ice, and now 45 seconds left in the Calgary penalty to Houston. 2-0 Calgary leading. Clark misses a pass. And Marsh flipped one off the stick of MacMilllan. Down it goes inside the Philadelphia line. Flyers with a man advantage. Would love to get one back here. They're trailing 2-0. Philadelphia from center, shooting it up to Clark. He is stopped. I'll tell you, this Calgary team playing well. They're shorthanded, but doing a great job killing the penalty. Now Reagan out of the net, backhands it behind the goal. Lever shoots it down the left side, and it goes all the way with 15 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, it's the Flyer team that are very nervous. They're making bad passes. They're losing the puck. The puck is bouncing off their stick.
Here's Bobby Clark coming in to Prop. Prop jumped away from one check. Bobby Clark on the boards. Bobby Clark slides it back to the net to Prop. To Clark. He hit the side of the net with a shot. Prop has it again. The penalty is over. Here's a drive from close in. And Reagan standing up there stopped it. Now Marsh feeds it ahead on the left side for Houston, who has returned having served that interference penalty. 7 minutes left in the period. Here's Bridgman, and he has some room. Bridgman coming in. And the low shot is stopped by Reagan. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. This is Game 7, Calgary on top. 2 quick goals in this game. Cochran keeping it in for Philadelphia with Bridgman's help. Bridgman along the line with Gorant. He feeds it in front. Reagan will cover up now. Now he clears it. There's a penalty coming up. An interference call.
Now referee Bruce Hood, he is calling everything tonight. Both teams will not get away with a thing. Again, the Flames will play a man short. It was Murdoch right in front of the net, taking out the Flyer. So another power play opportunity. Let's watch Murdoch. Interferes with Bridgman. Just bumps him. Bridgman didn't have control of the puck or didn't even touch the puck. So Murdoch will head for the box. And again, the Flyers on the power play. The last time, very composed Flame Hockey Club. When they had possession, they looked for the open man or iced it.
There's Bill Clement again, number 10 for Calgary. He's the premier penalty killer on this team. He has Hislop with him up front. Russell and Marsh are the 2 defensemen. 2-0 Calgary. They'll try to hang on again as Philadelphia has the man advantage. There's Barber turning around near the line. Cuts over in front. Can't get a shot. They're on him right away. And it's Hislop clearing it off the glass down the ice, racing after it. St.Croix 30 feet out of the net to stop it in the corner and try to play it ahead. He does. McLeish comes back, but Calgary in control now. And Marsh takes a long shot. St.Croix has to stop that with a stick. Barber feeds it back. Philadelphia unable to get anything going so far. Calgary full value for their 2-0 lead, and they're playing great defensive hockey.
What a play by Phil Russell standing up on that blue line. Now that's what I mean by challenging. Don't let the team cross over that blue line. Russell, a good one-on-one play against Paul Holmgren. This is what you talk about, standing up, making contact. Watch Russell, he's not watching the puck. Take the man out. And there was an offside call.
2-0 Calgary on top of Philadelphia. 2 power play goals, and right now Philadelphia is on a power play. Unable to get too much room inside that Calgary blue line though. It's cleared to the line. Barber feeds it over. There's the pass in front to Lindssman. He rolled it in front. A scramble. Down goes Riggin. And he's got it. And he hangs on to it. McLeish right in on the doorstep.
Well, that time the Flames are cut out of position. Flyers finding that open man, had a good scoring opportunity, but Pat Riggin is able to sit on it. Here's the way the goaltender sees it. A lot of concentration, and it's tough when you got big number 17 Holmgren in front of you. Sliding out just to make that save. We talked about a goaltending effort that they need from Riggin. They're getting it thus far.
1:09 left in the Murdoch penalty. He's off for interference. 2-0 Calgary. 5:51 left in this first period. Marsh hooked it back of his own net. Barber from the blue line. Couldn't keep it in. Millen lost the stick, and now coming back is Wilson. Leaves it for Barber. To Wilson again. Hopping up across center is Wilson. Coming in with McLeish. McLeish along the right wing boards to Wilson back of the net for Lindssman in the corner. Lindssman missed controlling it. Barber couldn't keep it in. And Bill Clement got it out to center ice. Millen nearly got away from Calgary. Here's Lever trying to break in. He's stopped by Barber. Coming back from Philadelphia. Wilson coming in as Lindssman. Lindssman along the line, gets set, took a shot. A hard shot is nowhere near the net. Again kept in. Barber.
Holmgren got another penalty.
Another penalty coming up on this one. Holmgren of Philadelphia is going. Holmgren, Gary, is giving Pat Quinn fits. That's his third penalty. This one coming at 14:49.
Not only that, Bob, but all three penalties have been in the offensive zone. You see Holmgren taking a shot in the elbow against Don Lever, and you're putting your team in a very vulnerable position right now. And I think the next time Holmgren comes to the bench, somebody has to say something to him, one of the coaches, one of the players, not to change his style, but to certainly watch the elbow or the holding or the hooking. Still want to be aggressive, but you can do it without taking penalties.
So now, here's a steal by Bobby Clark. He nearly hooked the backhander right in on Riggin. Bailey feeds it into Clark, who gets it back. A nice shot by Leach. And a great save by Riggin again. He's standing right up there, but Philadelphia coming close.
Well, very careless, the Flames in their own zone in that shift. Bobby Clark almost got one on the board. Both teams playing a man short. Look at Captain Brad Marsh. He will be Dave Hodges' guest in the intermission. I guess if you're going to talk to somebody, why not the captain? Find out what's going on with his club.
Murdoch has 13 seconds left in his penalty. Clark for Philadelphia fell to one knee but couldn't control the puck. It's in back to the Calgary net. Radicalio leaving it for Nilsson starting out. He dropped it back. Radicalio coming away. He has Reinhart on the right. He takes the pass to Radicalio. Calgary at full strength. A long shot. It's offside. Nilsson skipped it over the line ahead of the puck, and it's called. But now, with Holmgren having 1 minute and 27 seconds left to serve in his penalty, the advantage goes to Calgary.
You see work on the contact lens. That's the soft lens right there by Brad Marsh. Cleaning it, and then they'll pop it in his eye. I wore the hard ones for a number of years, and surprising, a little knock on the side of the eye, and they'll pop right out on the ice. So most players have 5 or 6 spare sets for that emergency.
1:24 left in Holmgren's penalty. He's off for elbowing. Again, they call it. Face-off coming up in the center ice area. 2-0 Calgary.
Bob, I didn't mention this the other day, but we did a little feature in Calgary, and then after that, we're in their room to shower, and they have a punching bag in there, and they had a Flyer sweater on that punching bag, so the players were taking their turns punching that bag. Number 26 is the number on the jersey. I thought maybe they'd have 14.
I was going to ask you. That's Houston playing it back. Now Nilsson starting out. Got the center with Reinhart stepping in behind him. He gets the pass. Reinhart closing in. Had a great chance but didn't shoot it. Now he gets another chance but fell. And Wilson takes over for Philadelphia with 54 seconds left in the penalty. Coming out is Gorance. He's up across center. Gorance working in with Bridgman now. Bridgman got the pass. Back for Gorance. Just wide of him. Calgary going back to take over and start back again. This is MacMillan. He drops it to Reinhart. Up across center ice. 35 seconds left in the penalty to Holmgren. The pass goes in, but again, they're offside at the blue line.
Flames seem to be very tentative right now on the last two power play opportunities. You know, if they only realize that, gee, they could win the game on the power play alone and really get out there. You don't have to stay out there for 2 minutes and pace yourself. Have one line, take a minute, and then the next line. But go with a little more enthusiasm, a little more drive into those corners.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, a goal here for Calgary on this power play, and they have 31 seconds left in that penalty to Holmgren. And Mister, what an uphill battle it will be for Philadelphia.
That's right.
Especially the way Riggin has been playing so far. Chouinard's pass goes through. Here's a chance for LaValle. It rolled right to the doorstep and was stopped in time. LaValle on for his first shift. He nearly got a goal. That's Radicalio back of the net. The pass didn't work. Now it does. LaValle gets away down the left side. Barber caught up with him. And it bounces in wide to the Philadelphia net where Bathe is back. He played it on the boards. Not out. Kept in by MacMillan. Penalty is over. Holmgren back into the fray. In back of the net goes Gould, and he was stopped. It slides too far for Barber. Right in front. Gould tried to tip it and just barely missed it. Now it's Holmgren going in. LaValle falls, and he'll hold it there, and no further play.
Well, there's a good example that forechecking, get on the Flyers with their defense. They don't handle the puck that well. The play is around the boards. The defenseman can pick up a lot of straight passes. And those opportunities, Bobby MacMillan looking for some goals from him. Number 19, Bobby Gould. Minor hockey in Petrolia, we must congratulate Petrolia. They won the Allen Cup this afternoon.
And right here, he's playing on a team that hopes to move on to the big one, the Stanley Cup. And right now, they're leading in this quarterfinal 7th game, 2-0 over Philadelphia with 2:35 left in the first period. Coming down, that's Gould, and his pass to center. That tipped by Poplinski. They're back in by Prop, and he was bumped right away by Russell at the blue line. That's Marsh, and Holmgren took him in on the boards rather heavily. Marsh gets back up. He's okay. Big, rough, tough Holmgren running into the Calgary defenseman. Murray played it on the boards. Holmgren tosses one in to Prop. Here he comes with Lindsman. He falls, and it's cleared by Russell. Poplinski bumped by Holmgren. Now they're beginning to rough it up. The puck is frozen along the boards, and it's called.
Well, you'd think after 3 penalties, the guy would change his style. Not number 17. Really put a good hard check against Brad Marsh, but this is making contact and keeping your elbows down. Good solid hit, but Brad Marsh, look at him, up right away, ready to play again. And you can bet the next time Holmgren comes down, Brad Marsh will do the same to him.
Holmgren has drawn 3 penalties already in this first period. But as you say, Gary, I know how to play one way, and I'll do it.
Well, in Game 5, it looked like Calgary was intimidated with the Flyers' tactics, but tonight they will not be intimidated in the 7th game.
Referee Bruce Hood.
One of my buddies. I can tell you some stories about Bruce.
He can tell some about you too.
Yeah, I know.
10-8 the shots at this point with 1:54 left in the period. Calgary, the aggressor in this first 20 minutes. First 18 up to this point. Kept in by Bailey. Leach couldn't get Goodwood on that shot. It just lofted in too high. And Houston cleared it to the center ice area. Back there is Bailey with Bays. He goes the other way down the ice. Reagan will have to play it in back of the net to get it away from Leach. Bathe is coming in to stop Houston. But the Calgary Flames, organizing their own zone, have to go back deep now. Murdoch in back of the net, 1:20 left in the period. That's MacMillan starting out. MacMillan's pass to the right side. They really got trapped, changing players. Murdoch coming in. Murdoch shoots it into the corner back of the net. And Murray takes over for Philadelphia. Here he comes. Out to center goes McLean. Got away from one check and another. Took the shot. It was blocked at the blue line. And Lever played it on the glass down the ice with 58 seconds left in the period. 2-0 Calgary. There's the pass stopped up near the line. Bridgman coming in. They stop him. He got his pass away, but Chouinard was there. Back with Plett and Lever trailing. Chouinard stopping, rolled it over in front of St.Croix, and the Philadelphia Flyers take over. Long pass went astray down the ice. This will be icing. 33 seconds left in the period, and you have a feeling, Gary, that Calgary is trying to end this period just like this, 2-0, and they're holding back.
Yes, they are. We look at Phil Russell. He has been a stalwart on defense. His forte certainly is one-on-one, taking the man out. But the last few shifts, the Flames have been very tentative in their forechecking. Actually, they're not even trying to force the Flyers in there, and I hate to see them play that way because things will happen. And also in their checking, they're starting to swing away from a man, not making contact. And when you do that, the guy has a lot of ice area, and he's going to hurt you, you know, if he's allowed to skate.
There's a pass going in front of the net. Plett gets it back to the blue line to Reinhart. He took a shot away up high into the crowd. Well, Gary, you know well what a 2-goal lead on this Philadelphia team is like. Nothing.
That's right. You know, they're going to battle, and I think if the Flames would just remember in game number 5 when they, or no, I'm sorry, it was game number 3 when they held that 5-2 lead going into the third period and almost lost it just by sitting back and trying to protect the lead.
St. Croix covers up. 15 seconds left of the period. Linsman comes to center. He shoots one in off the boards. It's in back of the net. That's Holmgren after it. Calgary getting back. Plett didn't see it. Wilson trying to keep it in against Plett. And with 4 seconds left, they jam it on the boards and hold it there. So they'll pretty well kill the clock for this period. Only 4 seconds remaining.
Well, this guy has really rounded into an all-around hockey player. You know, does so many things for you. And he admits, look, I get a lot of goals from that crease area, and that's the reason I keep going there. But his playmaking, his leadership in the dressing room, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, he gets the guys going, and he can talk about playing aggressively because he plays that way.
Kerr is on for Philadelphia, number 12, to try to get the draw. He gets it back near the line. Barber lets the shot go, but they run out of time here in the first period. The Flames getting the only 2 goals, and they hang on. Plett and Houston, the goal scorers for the Calgary Flames. Plett at 3:03, his 6th of the playoff, and Houston is 5th at 8:33. And as you've heard, they were both power play goals. The shots, as you see, the Flames 10, the Flyers 8. Again, before we start this second period, we want to welcome viewers from coast to coast in Canada and 48 states throughout the United States. Gary, Philadelphia down 2 goals. They got to do something extra now.
Well, they've got lots of time to get back in the game, but I think they have to be disciplined in their attack, not get overly aggressive. You know, with the defenseman also moving in there so that they get caught on 3-on-1, and I'm certain that Flames will be watching for this, for that break to increase their lead.
Well, they're at even strength starting this second period. Philadelphia in control. Murray's long pass going astray down the ice. Calgary going back to pick it up. The Flames just play it harmlessly down to the left side. Coming back is Linsman. From around the net, Chouinard trying to knock it away from him. Can't do it. Then Wilson starts out to Holmgren. Holmgren's pass along the line goes astray at center again, and the Flames shoot it in. Now Linsman taking that pass. He's offside. It's called. Of course, Gary, Calgary has to stay on top of this Philadelphia team if they want to hang on and win this 7th game.
Well, they did, and a good play by Guy Chouinard. You know, it looked like Linsman was going to pick the puck up behind his own net, and Chouinard put on a burst of speed and deflected the puck away from him. You have to keep that puck away from Linsman because we've seen in all the games his speed, the ability to pass to the wingers, break into the hole, get that return pass, and away he goes.
That's Kerr playing on the right side along Bobby Clark's line now with Barber on the left wing. So Leach has been benched for the time being anyway, as Pat Quinn tries to shake something up. Clark tried to make a play in front of the net, couldn't. Coming out is Nilsson, decides to turn around again. Long pass off the boards near center. MacMilllan has it. MacMilllan coming in for Calgary. Took his hard shot, and it was deflected just wide. Rick St. Croix off balance as he tipped that one away. Now Marsh is coming back. This is Marsh and his shot. In off the boards for Bay of Philadelphia. He cleared it. Radicalio trying to stop it. He can't. Kerr is going in. Kerr against Radicalio. And he holds him on the boards. Clark goes in to help, and he gets it loose. Bobby Clark gets it back to the line. Cochran back to Clark. He tried a soft pass ahead. Barber has it in for Clark. He's digging back at the net. Clark has it. Sends one in front of the goal. And Calgary covering up in time to clear it down the ice. A minute and a half gone in this second period. This is Cochran. His pass to Barber, and he was bumped right away. Poplinski feeds it back in his own zone. Marsh gets it up across the line. Hislop comes back to Marsh again, and Radicalio. He hit a skate with that pass. McLeish hops on it. He comes in offside, and it's called. 17,077 referees and linesmen in the stands didn't think so. Gary, coach Pat Quinn of Philadelphia, juggling some lines now, trying to get something going. Bridgman on the left side with McLeish, and Gorance on the right wing. But Calgary, relentless in their attack coming in. Hislop, he falls. And back for Philadelphia. That's Bridgman carrying. He's hitting the line. Bridgman going into the side, set it up in front. Gorance was tied up by Russell. Russell couldn't move it out. Philadelphia forechecking, staying right with it. In back of the net, Bridgman, and he's knocked flying back to the goal. Calgary Flames roughing it up a bit in their own zone. Can't move it out by Busnick. That's Bridgman again with Gorance. Gorance keeping it in. It's back of the net. McLeish feeds it over to the other side. There's Gorance centering it. And the Flames cover up and come right back out. Three of them up to center. Bill Clement coming in. Cuts into the side, took a shot. St.Croix decides to hold it, and there's no further play.
Well, the Flyers are certainly getting a taste of their own medicine. The Flame defense, Russell and Murdoch both handing out some resounding checks. And that'll get them thinking a little bit. St. Croix on the spot right now. I'm sure that he knows he can ill afford to give up another goal. So the concentration certainly has to be there every moment. Following that puck.
There's Lever, number 12, against Bobby Clark. Number 16 for Philadelphia. Clark with the draw again. And Murray brings it out. His pass to Leach on the right wing. Leach goes in, tries his shot, it's deflected. And Clark is after it. It hopped away from him. Wilson kept it in. It's back to the Calgary net. Marsh plays it over on the right side for Plett. He just got rid of it into the center ice area. Murray to Wilson. Wilson across center coming in. Ben Wilson decides to shoot it. He put it right on, and Riggin covered up on the short side. Back for Calgary. Lever's long pass nearly got through. Wilson was back to take it away from Plett. Now Murray coming out. Gets across his own line to center. Shoots it from there. It's deflected off March. In back of the net, Reinhart. He played a strong first period for Calgary. Then Plett shoots it down the ice. This will be icing as Bailey goes back to touch it for Philadelphia. And the face-off is in the Calgary zone to the right of Pat Riggin. Unbeatable so far. Shots 12-9 for Calgary. We've played 3 minutes and 38 seconds of the second period. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer and Dave Hogg, Howie Meeker at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup quarterfinals. Holt tipped it out of his own zone. Bailey from center for Philadelphia played it ahead to Propp. He got rid of it inside the Calgary line. And the Flames just look to be content now to get rid of it, and down the ice it goes. More icing called against Calgary.
Well, the Flames, they can't do that, and I'm sure both coaches will impress upon them. And when the opportunity presents itself, you know, you have to pick that puck, start skating with it, look for somebody to pass to, but let's put a little pressure on the Flyers. We keep letting them come into our zone. Sooner or later, they're going to get a goal against us. But the line matchup with Bill Clement against Lindsman, Clement can certainly skate with him, and he has enough experience to be able to handle him in a tight checking situation, which they have to do with Lindsman.
Here's Philadelphia, the shot right on, knocked away by Riggin. Wilson took that shot from the blue line. There's Lindsman to Wilson again. He took another shot. That's wide against the side of the net. It comes to the crease. And they stop the play before any damage is done. Riggin had held it against the side of the net.
Randy Holt playing his first shift of the night. He was certainly a hero in Calgary, scoring those 2 goals.
In fact, he had a 3-point night. Game number 4.
Not a goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination, but it's funny what you do when you have to.
Flames are starting to cough up that puck. Ben Wilson has intercepted a couple of that point area. You could just feel that something is going to explode.
And they've got Lindsman on there, number 14, and there he goes after it in the corner. Lindsman, very dangerous to Holmgren. Clement going in to help break it up, and it's cleared by Gould down the ice. Lindsman has 4 goals and 16 assists, 20 points in the playoffs so far, so he has to be watched very closely. Ed Snyder, the owner of the Philadelphia team.
You almost expect Mr. Snyder to phone down to the penalty box and have a talk with Holmgren, who has just taken his 4th penalty, and he's too valuable player to be sitting in that penalty box.
Holding, tripping, elbowing, and now roughing. Holmgren. And Goran's racing after it. Here comes Reagan out of the net. Reagan cleared it, took a chance. He went that right side. Just barely missed Goran's as he cleared it. Philadelphia down 2-0. They're short a man. Calgary with the man advantage on this power play. They'll come back to regroup.
Yeah, they have to be a little more positive in their power play and make things work here. They're very tentative, not really going in there and doing a strong forechecking job.
A goal here for Calgary. It'll be awfully, awfully big. They shoot it in off the boards, back to the net. St. Croix, the goaltender. It comes back to Reinhart near the blue line. He got rid of it. Back of the net, Nilsson. He takes a good long look, hangs on to it. That's Nilsson waiting for somebody to move. It went by Reinhart. Gorans couldn't pick it up. Now Reinhart knocked it down with his glove, got rid of it over in front of the net. It comes back and cleared into the corner by Chouinard. Back of the net, Nilsson. He went off balance, comes in front of Houston, and he was stopped by St. Croix from 2 or 3 feet right in front of him.
Oh, what a big save by Rick St. Croix, because Houston, a lot of net area to shoot at, and St. Croix just held his ground.
Now the Flames and the man advantage for another 45 seconds. It's cleared in by Plett. Philadelphia doing a good job killing this penalty. They shoot it down the ice. Barber and Clark are up front, penalty killers for Philadelphia. Now coming out, LaValle comes to center ice. He's going in fast. He dropped it back to Plett. His shot in off the boards in the other corner. Chouinard from the blue line. It hit a leg. LaValle kept it in. Plett looks for it, doesn't come, and Barber gets away with 1 man back. Barber on Reinhart. Barber! He can't get a shot away. He's tied up by Reinhart. 12 seconds left in the penalty. There's Bobby Clark after it. Clark in the corner centered it, and Barber didn't get a good shot away. 5 seconds left in the penalty to Holmgren. The Flyers have killed this one very effectively. Here's the pass to Plett. He's onside. The backhand shot just missed the far post. Plett coming close. It's centered. Here's another drive. And down goes St. Croix. It goes back of the net. Can't find it. Now it comes out along the right wing boards. And Lindsman is away. 3 of them. They're down to center. That's Lindsman going in. Lindsman rolled it through the crease. And down goes Reagan to make a fantastic save. Pushing and shoving in the crease.
Well, Prop was all over Pat Reagan to try and push him in the net there.
Each team has picked up a penalty here after that skirmish in front of Pat Reagan.
Now Paul Reinhart and Brian Prop. Prop was going for the net, trying to get a rebound and put it past Pat Reagan. Of course, Reinhart took offense to that, and they got into a little scuffle, so both teams received roughing penalties. Brian Prop, 26, Reinhart, number 23.
Bob Cole, along with Gary Dornhofer, Howie Meeker, Dave Hodge at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We're in Game 7 of this best-of-7 quarterfinal. And it's 2-0 Calgary with 13:03 remaining in the second period. The face-off is deep in the Calgary zone. Reagan, the goaltender for the Calgary Flames, has been hot in this hockey game. And his teammates have given him a 2-goal lead.
Watch out for Reg Leach at the circle.
Tapped out near the blue line. Kaplinski left it there. The Flames bring it out. Murdoch tries a long shot. St. Croix covering up neatly. That's Cochran back of the net. He couldn't move it out of the zone. He was bumped. Busnick moved it the other way. And Clark couldn't get out of the corner. It goes back of the net again. Cochran starting out from Busnick. He gives it to Leach, coming down with Bobby Clark in the left wing. Leach shooting it in. Back of the net, the goaltender Riggin, he left it there. In back of the goal, Clark trying to knock it loose, but the whistle goes, and they call it.
That puck slid right underneath the goal. You see that center area. Well, there's the look-alike contest. To your left is Wally Bukowski from Shearwater, Nova Scotia, even minus a few teeth, like Clark. Well, what do you think? Another Clark in the making?
He's wearing the C anyway.
Well, he was out there the other day in practice, taking lots of pictures. He even wanted to put the skates on and go and practice with the Flyers. Of course, he was vetoed at that position.
What a contest in Nova Scotia. Decided on the prize money to use it by coming here to Philadelphia to see his Bobby and his team. There's a deflected shot into the crowd. 2-0 the score with 1:23 left in the penalties. At the moment, they're 5 aside in Calgary with an important lead as they near the halfway mark of regulation time. Shots 15-10.
You know, it was interesting, Bob, talking to Paget. He said, we want this game more than anything. Not so much for myself, but for the players. They've been, it seems that when we were in a forced position, like a game that we had to win, we were always able to respond. Well, here they are in a game that they have to win. And so far, with almost half the game finished, they have responded well.
Well, they're ahead in the shots, this Calgary team. He was also mentioning the fact, Gary, that they had spent the last 2 or 3 days in talking to the players and convincing them that they are a good hockey club and they can win here in Philadelphia. So far, it's paid off. They are winning. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the second period, and they're leading 2-0. 2 power play goals in the opening 20 minutes. Look at Lindsman. He's stopped at center ice. Good play by MacMilllan. The pass goes to Holmgren. Comes to Lindsman. Lindsman tried to feed it across the line. MacMilllan broke it up again. Back for Calgary. MacMilllan going in. Took a shot. It's wide. It bounced out in front. And St.Croix has to go down to cover up. Now Holmgren comes back. Hitting center. His long pass. He's up after it again. Gets in over the Calgary line. Stays with it. Hislop couldn't move it out. Finally, it bounced out over the line. A sharp call by the linesman. Ron Finn. They're offside.
Well, the shots right now, still Calgary ahead in that department. Of course, that doesn't mean a thing unless they go in. But with Flames leading 2-0, both on power play goals. And can't say enough about the defense of this Flames hockey club, how they've broken up a lot of plays at that blue line, standing very firm and forcing the Flyers to shoot it in. They keep trying to carry it in.
This is Marsh coming down to center ice for Calgary. His pass was stopped by Bridgman. Bridgman to Gorant. He couldn't hang on to it. Marsh again left it there, and it's cleared in by Lever. In back of the Philadelphia net is Bailey. Bailey coming back out. Now he gives it to Gorant. Up the right side. Gorant was upended near center ice by Lever. Nilsson dropped it back in his own zone for Calgary's Marsh. He got out to center, back to Lever again, and Nilsson comes in. Nilsson over on the far side, gets it back. It went by Rodicalio. The Flames are changing now as the play goes on. LaValle missed it. Got it back again. Second effort by LaValle pays off, and he shoots one in to hit Bathe. Calgary Flames have to get back on side. Now Marsh played it in across the Philadelphia line, and Bailey goes around the net, gets away from Chouinard. He comes down to his own line, hits center. Now he lifts a high one in, stick making contact up high. Marsh had a stick high over his shoulder, and it's called.
You know, Flyers just haven't had a concentrated attack going, you know, where you get 2 or 3 shots at a time. Flames have been able to cover up. Riggin makes the save, cover the rebound, and away they go. It's up to the wings. They have to start putting some pressure on the Flame defense.
Gary, it's a far cry from Game 5 we saw here, where Philadelphia was all over Calgary.
Well, the Flames have really slowed the pace down. They are playing their position so well, getting themselves in a clear, just moving that puck around. It's almost at a snail's pace here for the last 7 or 8 minutes. And that's the type of game that the Flames would like.
9:27 gone. in the second period. 2-0, Calgary. Here's Bobby Clark back of the net. Clark left it there for Barber. Barber trying to move it over. Can't do it. Now Clark gets it out. Clark has to turn around again. He's hemmed in on the boards. Marsh trying to get it away. Marsh kicked it out front of his own net. And it's cleared across the line to the center ice area. Reggie Leach brings it in again. Winding up the shot. A hard shot. And Riggin was standing there to make the save. You usually cannot hear yourself think here in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. They're starting a chant now, though, trying to get the team going.
They must have heard us.
2-0. Calgary leading and playing tight defensively. Calgary Flames hook it up to center ice. Houston standing there. He has it. Backhands it in across the Philadelphia line. And Murray goes back for the Flyers. On the side of the net to Leach. He has to stop to get that pass. Now he hurries it to center ice, and Houston just calmly breaks it up. Barber tipped it in over the Calgary line. Murdoch a long pass to center. Nilsson can't reach it, and Reinhart has it in his own zone. Now McMillan's pass ahead to Nilsson. He tries a backhander across the line that hits somebody, and then Clark lost it. There's Wilson for Philadelphia to Murray. Murray's pass ahead to Barber. Coming in is Leach with Barber. Leach! And what a beautiful save by Pat Riggin. That hard shot by Leach. And you know he can hit him. And Riggin made a great glove save.
Well, first time that Flyers actually had a 2-on-1 break, but Leach was thinking shoot all the way, and the way he shoots it, I guess he's thinking that, but Riggin is out the challenge, had a good clear view of it, and made it look easy.
Pat Riggin with a hot hand tonight. A sore hand after that save.
Well, he's had a couple of days rest. He had a chance to watch his team at home, watch the Flyer shooters, see if they do anything that is out of the ordinary. So he knows what to expect tonight, but a good blast by Leach.
Now Prop gets loose. Another nice save, but the whistle had gone. They have to face it off again to the left of Pat Riggin. He is very alert in that net tonight, Gary. Even though the play had been called, he reacted very quickly, made a great kick save. There's Riggin crouching. It comes near the line. Cleared into the corner. Calgary. Poplinski trying to hang on to it with a skate with the help of Marsh. Holmgren goes down. Now they kick it loose. Referee Bruce Hood standing right there allows the play to move out, and it comes to center. Coming down is Gould, racing in. Gould trying to get by Cochran. It's in the crease. And there's a penalty coming up against Philadelphia.
Well, owner Ed Snyder really gets involved in these games. I mean, he's down in the dressing room all the time talking to players, but I like and admire this guy here, Bobby Gould. He kept going, and he got a penalty called against them by Cochran, just by that second effort that Paget and McNeil were talking about.
There's Cochran for hooking. And again, Calgary with the man advantage and a power play opportunity. They're leading 2-0. It comes right in front of the net. There's Nilsson trying to get it into Plett. He was covered, though. They hold it along the boards. Now Bathe gets it loose. McMillan chasing it in the corner for Calgary. There's McMillan getting it back near the line. Gorence knocked it away from him, and Bridgman turns with Gorence out to center. Two of them coming in for Philadelphia. He dropped it to Gorence. He took the shot. It's deflected off the glove of Riggin. And now McMillan for Calgary. Gorence into Watcham. Bridgman on the other side. The Flames on the man advantage with 1:30 left of the penalty. Coming to center. It goes down on the right side. The pass comes to Nilsson. He's across the line, but they're offside, and it's called.
They have to bring up their level of play on this power play. It seems everybody's getting stranded at that blue line in a standing still. You're not going to beat anybody standing still. So try to have your wingers going at full speed. Give them that pass and then let them go into the zone.
I want to say hello to one of the veteran officials of the National Hockey League, linesman John D'Amico. Suffered 2 cracked ribs in Game 6, New York and St. Louis. John D'Amico resting at home in Rexdale, Ontario. Scotty Morrison, the referee-in-chief, says he'll be back before the playoffs get too far gone. Get well, John D'Amico. Chouinard comes back, and again, face-off called. It was gloved ahead of the Calgary zone, so they'll drop it in right there to the right of Riggin.
This is another guy that they have to have that scoring punch, playmaking from a guy like Guy Chouinard. And they got it in that first period, both on the power play. You'll always find Chouinard and Nilsson on that power play. But when Chouinard is playing the point, the Flyers get an opportunity and attack in a shorthanded situation. I'll guarantee you they'll try to attack the area of Chouinard, work a 2-on-1 against him.
Bobby Clark and Barber, penalty killers for Philadelphia. Murray and Wilson, the two defensemen. Calgary with a man advantage, and that's Reinhart back of the net. Waiting till everybody lines up. Clark watching him. Play goes to the right side. Here comes Houston to center. Houston's pass is tipped in across the line. Lever has it in the corner, back of the net to Houston. Houston gets set to make his play. Can't get it back near the line. And Barber broke it up. Got it as far as the blue line. It's kept in there. They hang on to it near the line. There's Lever after it. Lever skating to the far side. He left it. Reinhart gets it handed back, takes a shot. It's right behind St.Croix, and he saw it in time. Reached back, and he grabbed it.
A big save by St.Croix. He was off balance after making the save and just made a spin around and was able to hang on to that rebound. A concerned Flyer bench along with Bob Clark. Reinhart again letting it go. The defensemen, they wait till there's somebody in front of the net. We saw number 6, Kenny Houston, just not able to get his stick on it. But there's a little mismatch here. Houston against Terry Murray should be able to good position. Actually hit both pads and just slipped between his legs.
I don't know what happened, whether he heard it behind him or what, but he turned, he made the right move and reached back and grabbed it. Rick St. Croix saving a goal right there. Here's Gorentz now trying to get that puck across the line, was stopped. Chouinard coming in for Calgary. Left it there. Willie Plett has it on the boards. It comes back to the blue line. Calgary on a power play. They score! A quick shot from the side of the net by LaValle. And it's 3-0 Calgary.
Kevin LaValle put in tonight's lineup for his speed. And boy, he'll never get a bigger thrill. First-year player. Had problems defensively, but McNeil's got him out there on the power play. Look, it just actually shoots the puck in one motion while he's heading for that net. Remember, LaValle is a left-hand shot, just lets it go to the far corner. And that's the third power play goal for the Flames. And you can see the heads drop. There's number 16, Clark. Leach looking down. An uphill battle now.
13-minute mark. This goal here in the second period, and it's Calgary 3, Philadelphia 0. Bathe coming to center. He had Holmgren's skates. That play was broken up. Hislop had it going behind him. He couldn't do much about it. Holmgren again for Philadelphia with Lindsman and Prop. They shoot it in. Here comes Prop on the boards, and he was stopped. Now Holmgren gets it back to Bathe. He takes a drive. It's kicked away by Riggin, and the goaltender is bowled over by Holmgren. Flyers keep some pressure on. Now it's cleared out by Gould to the center ice area. Bathe chopped it back in. Coming back is Russell. Riggin steps in back of the net. Holmgren into the corner. He was bumped by Marsh. Marsh trying to tie him up. They get it in on the boards, and they hold it there. And there will be a face-off in the Calgary zone with 6:13 remaining in this second period.
Well, if there's a line that the Flames really have to concentrate, don't even worry about scoring, but check closely, it's Lindsman's line. That's the line that can give the Flyers a spark.
The latest scoring play, another power play goal. All 3 goals on the power play for Calgary tonight. LaValle, his first of the playoffs from Reinhart and Plett at the 13-minute mark. Time remaining, 6:13 in the second period.
So Willie Plett has made his presence felt here tonight. A goal and assist.
Shots up to this point. Calgary out shooting Philadelphia 18-13. Bobby Clark comes out with Kerr. Barber ready for this face-off to the right of Riggin. Little anxious, out of position. They do not drop it in. Now referee Bruce Hood gets into the act, and of course you know what he is saying. You stay in position or they won't drop it in. And there is a possibility always, of course, that there would be a delay of game penalty handed out.
Well, the Flyers always use that slot man. You see Barber, he'll be at the top of the circle, and it's very important that the winger anticipate the drop of the puck and get out and take that man. You can't let a guy like Barber, left your screen, get that shot away.
Lever of Calgary. It comes back to Barber. Scores! Well, you look like a genius, Gary. It came right back to Barber. And did he ever whistle one by Riggin?
Well, every once in a while you'll hit one right. But that'll wake everybody up here in the spectrum. All right, now somebody's got to cheat. As soon as that puck is dropped, get out there. But what a good job of not allowing the Flames to get at Barber. Watch the job that Clark does. Screens out Willie Plett. And then Barber just blasts one high in that corner. And that is Billy Barber's 100th playoff point. What a performer he has been.
I'll tell you, they don't shoot them much harder than that.
You remember, Clark was chased out of the faceoff, and they had Tim Kerr, who is also a center iceman. So he's had experience, and he got the draw cleanly.
13:49, the time of the goal. And Philadelphia on the board now. Calgary has to be mighty careful now. Right in front of the net it comes. Kerr missed a tip-in chance. 3-1 is the score. Calgary with a 2-goal lead, and Houston tried a shot from a difficult angle. Kept in by Rodicalio. Houston missed it back of the net. Now Barber coming out with Clark and Kerr. Kerr takes the pass off the boards. He's carried in to the corner boards by Murdoch. Clark has it, gets it back in front. Clark after it again with Barber. Now there's Clark in the corner, centering it. And MacMillan will bring it out for Calgary. Here he comes, up to center. The play goes into Nilsson, trying to stick handle by Murray. Couldn't do it. The Flames are changing as the play goes to center ice. And that's Bridgman coming in with McLeish. Tries the shot. It was blocked by Russell. Bridgman fighting for it. He comes up with it. Bridgman centered it. And the Flames cover up and come right back down to center ice. This is Gould trying a shot. It hit a leg. Hislop has it. He centered it. Hit the side of the net. Got it back in front again. And McLeish was there for Philadelphia. To Bridgman. Up to center. He golfed one in. It's in wide of the net. Russell slammed on it. And it hit the boards and bounces all the way down the ice. This will be icing as Bailey goes back to touch it. And the Philadelphia Flyers and the fans here in the Spectrum have come to life. That third Calgary goal looked mighty, mighty big a few minutes ago when LaValle poked it in. 3-0, big lead, but look at it now, 3-1. Another goal by Philadelphia, and we're into a barn burner again.
Well, the Flames have to keep their composure now and their poise out there. Everybody play their position. And when the Flyers put on the pressure, don't start running around and trying to doing somebody else's job. Just do your own.
Clark is on again with Barber and Leach for Philadelphia. Chouinard at center ice for Calgary. Russell trying to knock it loose, but that's Leach going back of the net. He centered it right in front of Barber, and he was stopped before he could get a shot away. Wilson in the center ice zone for Murray. Murray's pass goes back to Wilson. Up across center, it bounced over the stick of Bill Barber. Reinhart goes back and picks it up in the corner. 2 Flyers are in forechecking, and they stop the play right there for a face-off in the Calgary zone with 3:59 left in the second period. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer, high above the ice surface here in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Game 7 of these quarterfinals. 3-1, Calgary.
Now you'll see Bill Clement coming out now to take the draw. He is the best face-off man that the Flames have.
Way up there, over that 50 mark, I guess. Is it
51, number 51.
51, okay. Somewhere up there. You wave, Gary.
Well, I can see the top of your head there, Bob. Buddy.
I hope so. There's a pass coming back to Murray. He took a shot, and that was wide. Back of the net is Barber. He hit the side of the net. Clark after it. Pushed it into the crease. Great pressure now exerted. In on top of the net they go again. There's Clark still fighting for it. Back to Murray. And his blistering shot is deflected in front of Riggin. and it goes into the crowd. Wow, Philadelphia coming on so strong now with 3:40 left in the second period.
Well, it brings back some memories of the first period here in Game 5 when the Flyers just took the offense, and that goal, and you knew the first goal that the Flyers got would do that to them, so they have picked up the tempo. They're doing some stronger forechecking. Something that they haven't done up to that point is get on the Flames defense. Flames have had plenty of time to look around and make the play, but now all of a sudden they've got that Flyer jersey, that Flyer man doing the forechecking, getting right on top of you, makes the play a lot more difficult.
Well, Big Holmgren is on again now. He's had 4 minor penalties called against him in this hockey game. He's on with Lindsman and Prop. It's a going concern, this trio. There's Prop getting set, turning around, slides it in back of Holmgren. Coming in is Cochran. He can't make contact with it. Calgary having some difficulty clearing it. They finally get it down. Hislop comes up over the line, cuts for the net. The backhander is stopped by St.Croix. Holmgren swings around the net for Philadelphia, hits the line. He's up to center. That's Holmgren going in. A pass goes off on this side. Cochran took a shot in the crease, and down goes Riggin. And the play is whistled dead, and I'll tell you, Lindsman was right in there with the goaltender, Riggin.
Well, you know, Lindsman took an extra swipe, but I can't believe that anybody would let him stand there. You know, the Flyers have been really putting the pressure on Riggin and getting in front of him, bothering him, taking that extra swing at the puck, and nobody moves him out of there. But a little pass here by Prop. Now watch Lindsman come in there, take another crack. Now somebody come in and get him out of there. You have to knock him on his seat of his pants a few times, or he'll keep doing that. But Holmgren made it look so easy. He was allowed to carry the puck right from his own zone. And then again, the Flames have to do a better job of forechecking and not allowing the Flyers to come out so easily.
He's off to the left of that Calgary goaltender now, Pan Riggin. There's the draw, and Marsh takes over for Calgary. Plays it into Gould, back of the net, and he chopped it out to center ice. Philadelphia have to come back to get organized. That's Lindsman. Looking from Busnick to Holmgren. At his own blue line, he's stalled a bit. Now the Flyers look a bit disorganized. They back up in their own zone. Busnick played it back of the net. Cochran starts out, slides a pass ahead. Calgary standing right up at the center ice red line. Gould broke it up, but now they get moving. Philadelphia does, and Lindsman is coming in. Lindsman gets set the backhand shot, and there's a great save by Riggin on the backhander. And who's in the crease but Holmgren, and Marsh is all over him.
Well, again, they're really giving Riggin a rough ride, and so Brad Marsh took it upon himself to finally move a man from out of there. But the Flames only sending one man in to forecheck, trying to have both the wingers covered coming out, but that certainly makes it easy for the Flyers. They can work an easy 2-on-1 and come out very effectively, as they're doing now. They've just taken over here and controlling the play and getting some good scoring chances, and you wonder, you know, how long can Riggin keep coming up with these good saves?
That's one of the better saves right there. A good shot and a great save.
But again, the backup. Everybody's backing up, letting the Flyers come into the zone. You saw Nilsson just skate by Lindsman, you know, not taking the body. Give him the shift and you just go for a skate. So we have double penalties.
2 minutes for roughing. Flyers penalty to number 20.
There's Marsh.
2 minutes for slashing.
It was Marsh who cleared out the goal crease area. And Prop. He was into it. So minor penalties. Marsh and Prop. 2:33 left. These penalties coming at 17:27. It's Calgary 3 and Philadelphia 1. And the face-off now is coming up deep in the Calgary zone. Riggin poised at the edge of the crease. Bobby Clark with Barber standing behind him and to his left. But the face-off goes back of the net, and Reinhart comes out. He gets to his own line, being watched by Barber. He took one swing at him and missed him. There's MacMilllan. Near the line is Reinhart, keeping it in. Barber without a stick. There's the shot. That hit the side of the Philadelphia net. Wilson feeds it over for Clark. Clark moved it out, but he was stopped by Murdoch from continuing on. Reinhart takes it away from Barber. MacMilllan A pass ahead to Nilsson. Hit a skate, slides into the Philadelphia zone. That's Murray coming back with 1:25 left in the penalties and 2 minutes left in this period. Coming in is Ben Wilson. He took a shot, didn't get much on it, kind of fanned on it, just trickled away in front of him. Reinhart of Calgary for MacMillan on the boards. He left it there. Now he gets it past to center, and Wilson took it from him. Back for Bailey in the Philadelphia zone. To Wilson again. 1 minute left of the penalties. A minute and a half in this second period. 3-1 Calgary. Bailey from center. Up over the line he goes. Dumped it into the corner, and coming back is Reinhart. Around the net, Reinhart for Calgary. Couldn't move it out. Lever missed a chance to clear it. Gets another chance. This time he knocked it down the ice with 1:10 left in the period. 38 seconds in the penalties. Score is 3-1. Calgary leading. And this is bathed for Philadelphia with Holmgren. Up across the line. He dropped it near the line. Got it back again. A minute left in the period. Bailey flipped it into the corner. And the Calgary Flames just shoot it out to center ice. LaValle went after it. He nearly poked it loose. Bailey had to hurry his pass to Gorens, and then it was no good. Knocked down by Russell. He left it there. It goes to Bathe on the other wing against Radicalio, and Radicalio cleared it back on the boards and out to center. Now the penalties have been served, and they're back on with 30 seconds left in the period. Philadelphia backtracking again in their own zone. Prop up to Wilson. His play goes into Bridgman. Coming in is Gorens in front of the net, and he was knocked flying. There's going to be a penalty, I believe.
High stick, Bob. It was knocked down by the high stick.
Oh, the puck, okay. The referee at the far side called it with a high stick sign, so.
I think it was as Willie Plett was coming back with his check, he just knocked down the puck with his stick over his shoulder, and that's why it was whistled down. But the Flames still content to just dump it out, dump it out.
Might catch it.
See,
here.
there's Plett with his stick above the shoulders, and right away referee Bruce Hood called the play when Hislop gained possession of the puck.
So Gorens upended in front of the net, nothing to it.
Well, Bridgman and Hislop have a few words, and see Brian Propp closing in on the pile there. 19 seconds. Well, if the Flames can get out of this period with a 2-goal lead, a lot to think about in that third period. Remember one time they had the 5-2 lead and almost lost it because they were reluctant to do any forechecking and try to protect that lead.
Well, St. Croix down at the other end for Philadelphia hasn't had a save, well, maybe one or two, but not many in the last 12 minutes of play. So it'll show you that the Calgary Flames are content at this moment anyway to sit back on that 2-goal lead. Here's a quick shot by Clark right off the draw. With 15 seconds left and Calgary trying to clear. They do. Holt knocked it back inside the Philadelphia line. It goes all the way. Wilson touching it. That's icing against Calgary. Not a good move with 7 seconds left in the period.
No, it wasn't. Hislop, he was didn't realize that he was on his own side of center ice and shot it down. And anytime you keep giving up that face-off in your own zone, and the Flyers have really excelled in that area.
Well, you know that goal by Barber, Gary, it took about a second and a half after Kerr had won the draw to get it back to Barber. Then another second, and he let the shot go.
Well, this time it'll be Reggie Leach. You see in the middle of your screen, a right-hand shot, and Clark will try to draw to him. And there's another guy you don't want. There he is. The rifle, they call him. Reggie, at least he has a sense of humor. He said, the way I'm going now, they call me Pop Gun.
Well, he's ready to maybe pop one from this draw as Clark goes in to take it for Philadelphia. 7 seconds left. They don't drop it in. Now the linesman, Ray Scapinello, I believe, has sent Clement out. Wait a minute. Clement circles, comes back in. Clark goes out, and Barber will take the draw.
He's also good in the faceoffs.
Let's watch. Now they drop it in. It comes harmlessly back near the boards. 4 seconds left. Clark falling on the ice, trying to hook it free as the horn goes to end the second period. And Calgary has that 2-goal lead. So the score at the end of the second period is Calgary 3, Philadelphia 1. And it's 3-1 going into the what may be last period. I say maybe because you have to think of overtime when you're talking about playoffs. I'm sure, Gary, that Calgary doesn't want to think of overtime, but Philadelphia does.
No, they don't. We have 20 minutes to find out the moment of truth. But I think the Flames, they have to put more pressure. Don't let the Flyers come at them, because I remember the last time in here what happened.
Calgary shooting it in from the face-off. And it's a pass coming out to Prop. Here come the Philadelphia Flyers into Lindsman. He's breaking for the corner. He slides one through the crease. Reagan had to be carefully covered up, and then it was loose there for a split second. And it's cleared down the ice, and Calgary again right off the bat called for icing.
Well, a guy like Wilson can certainly get things going. You know, he can carry the puck so well, but you notice that the Flames are just satisfied to ice the puck at every opportunity. Chouinard had plenty of skating room there. Why not skate it in there and waste those valuable seconds? Because I'll tell you, every time there's a face-off in your zone, you're asking for trouble.
Well, they have to at least get it up to the center ice area and then take a chance of hitting center ice and lobbing it in.
Well, skate with the puck first and then look for somebody to pass it to.
Chouinard is number 16 for Calgary against Lindsman. Marsh back of the net. This is Russell coming out for Calgary. A hit Plett skate goes down the ice just wide of the net. That's Murray back. And again, with only 40 seconds gone in the third period, we have a second icing called against the Calgary Flames.
When I see these face-offs now, how important they're going to be. Well, they're trying the same combination here with Kerr taking the face-off and Barber. Remember the effective job that Clark did the last time, screening out the player. And Kent Nilsson, you know, isn't really a good face-off man.
Kerr got the draw. Calgary hopping on it right away, though. Murdoch flipped it back of the net to Reinhart. A long pass goes up to center ice. Clark played it back in for Kerr. Here comes Barber and the shot. Reagan stopped it with a glove. Backhands it around his own net. MacMillan can't move it out. That's Barber in the corner against Reinhart. They're holding it on the boards. And the play is called again. Another face-off coming up in the Calgary zone.
You saw Bailey pinch in there, was able to keep that puck in the zone. The only way that the Flames can work that so he won't be able to do that is move the wingers back a little further. You see the two hash marks in there. If they're positioned in that area, there's no way that Bailey will be able to pinch in that far.
Now Pat Quinn wants to change the defense, and Murray comes back out with Wilson. They'll park themselves just inside the Calgary blue line. 1 minute and 2 seconds gone in this, the third period. It was 2-0 at the end of the first, 3-1 at the end of the second. And that's what it is right now. There's Bobby Clark, number 16, longtime captain and now assistant coach of these Philadelphia Flyers. What a heart and a half this man is. Bobby Clark. Puck is dropped in, and Nilsson got the draw this time. Back into the other corner. It's cleared by Murdoch. Out across the line, Clark didn't see it. Here's a chance for MacMillan. He faked the shot beautifully and then went off stride and spun around and fell to the ice. Wilson for Philadelphia. He tried to hit Clark with that long lead pass. It was just out of his reach, and now icing called against Philadelphia as Reinhart goes back.
MacMillan makes a good move here. He has Terry Murray going down on one knee for the blocked slap shot attempt, but that never did materialize as MacMillan loses balance and falls down. But a good move by MacMillan there.
That's Poplinski, 24 for Calgary, getting the draw, hopping in back of the net with Hislop. He gave it to Poplinski again. He centered it. Gould is covered, and St.Croix will take no chances at all now, and he stops it. Hangs on to it. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer, Howie Meeker, and Dave Hodge. We're at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Calgary Flames lead the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1. In this third period, they played 1:35. And the face-off again to the right of Rick St.Croix. It's dropped in, comes back to Hislop on the boards with it. Weak shot is stopped. Gould spinning around. He's taken in on the boards. Poplinski goes into help. Right away, the linesmen have to rush in. Make sure everything remains calm.
Cochran has been inserted in the lineup the last few games. Eriksson, the young Swede, has been taken out. Gives them a lot of toughness back there. He's rolled up penalty minutes like you wouldn't believe. You know, as you look at Calgary here on the possession that they had in the Flyers zone, on 2 occasions, the man wasn't open in that slot area, so the Flames just held on to it. The face-off or the puck was frozen against the board, and a face-off resulted. That's smart hockey rather than throwing away blind and having Flyers intercept.
Bridgman got the draw this time, and it goes back of the net. Flyers trying to organize, unable to move it out too well. They get it across the line now. This is Bridgman coming in. His shot, and it trickled off Riggin, just missed the far corner. And again, they jam in on the boards and hold it. Close call. Riggin looked a little shaky as he tried to stop it.
Well, it just goes to show you, anytime you shoot that puck at the net, Bridgman was cutting to the outside and just let the shot go. Riggin had a lot of difficulty handling that one, just skipped off the end of his blade into the corner. And you see Brad Marsh over there talking to him, settling him down, but Riggin has had a good game as the shots are now even at 20.
Bridgman again at center ice for Philadelphia. Gorens parked to his left in the hopes he might get the draw back there. Gorens had to hop in but couldn't get a stick on it. McLeish trying to keep it in and does, but now it's cleared by Reinhart. Flyers shoot it back in. Reinhart coming back along the boards. Look out. Bridgman couldn't hit him with that check. Now they roll it to one side, back of the net it goes, and Marsh, he tried to feed it ahead. McLeish forechecking, stopped him, but now it comes to center. Gorens trying to get it going. Lever is all over him, and they're at close quarters now, and checking very important.
Well, the Flames have a good game plan, and they're sticking right to it at every opportunity. Bump into the Flyers, get right on top of them. You can't skate over a man, as we look at Don Lever. Has played a good series here for the Flames. Certainly gives them that speed on the left side, and if need be, can move to the right wing position or even the center ice area. And that's something that Paget's been doing all year, switching players around from the left side to the right side. Gives them a lot more options.
Wilson coming in from that draw, takes his shot, and away up high over the glass and into the crowd. So they'll have another face-off just inside.
You know, that's one thing I had asked the 2 coaches about, all the line shuffling, because most players like to play with one unit. But their remark to that was that by moving players in different positions, you know, there's a lot of combinations you can use for scouting a team. They don't really have set lines that you can say, well, so-and-so are playing together, so you have to watch this particular unit. So that's the reason that he really likes to switch the players.
That's Clark coming on again for Philadelphia with Leach and Barber. Clark with a draw. Wilson took a shot. Riggin covered on the short side. Marsh for Calgary. Back of the net to Russell. He played it on the boards near center ice. Chouinard overskates it. Gets a stick behind him, but then can't make a play. And Barber is coming out. There's Leach going down the right wing. Leach coming in, and a hard shot stopped by Riggin. Barber hopped on it right away. Murray let it go, and it's kicked out by Riggin. Here's Plett coming out for Calgary. It's opened up a bit now at this point in the third period. That's Bobby Clark turning at his own line. Gets it up to Barber. They're in again, these Flyers. This is Barber, tried a backhander. It was deflected away from Riggin. Into the corner, Lever. He'll try to shoot it out. Gets it out to center to Chouinard. Up with Plett. Calgary coming in. It's dropped back to Plett, and Holmgren was all over him. Nearing the 4-minute mark of the third, 3-1 Calgary. And it's Lindsman coming in, and hopped away from Prop over his stick. Heavy hitting inside that line now. Holmgren sent Russell flying inside the Calgary blue line. Now from center, Houston against Holmgren. Nilsson for Calgary shoots one in off the boards, right in front of the net. And it's grabbed back of the net. Bailey tried to move it out. Lindsman getting some skating room, getting away to center. Lindsman coming in. He's across the line. Lindsman dropped it back in front to Holmgren, and he was covered in front of the net before he could get a shot on the goal. That's Marsh, back of the net. Lindsman after him. Lindsman staying with it. When it comes to Houston, he tapped it on the boards, but it's still inside that line. Now Marsh trying to get away from Linsman. Played it up to center. Houston will shoot it from there, and it goes in wide of the net as they near the 5-minute mark of the third period. Philadelphia coming back again. This is Bridgman going in along the boards. Stopping in the corner, gets it back to McLeish. McLeish had a bad angle. Took a shot anyway. It hit a leg. Back of the net, Hislop fell. In the corner, Bridgman comes up with it. Back to the blue line. Cochran slides it into Gorance, driving it. And it's stopped by Riggin. But great pressure exerted by the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, watch Paul Holmgren come in and just put Russell right on the seat of his pants, and taking those penalties certainly hasn't changed Holmgren's style at all. He's still playing very aggressively.
Now Philadelphia with some heat on Calgary. It's 3-1 Calgary at this point as Bridgman goes back of the net. Lipinski missed it. Gorance tried to get it in front. McLeish to Gorance back of the goal. Lost it to Poplinski coming out. He golfed it on the boards and down the ice it goes. Rolling across that line to the right of the net. And icing is called against the Calgary Flames with 14:51 remaining in regulation time. And the Calgary Flames leading the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1.
I don't like what I'm seeing right now as far from a Flame standpoint. You know, they had the opportunity once before where they had the lead and they kept sitting back trying to protect it, and the Flyers came back, and I think they should have learned something from that. And here they are doing exactly the same thing again, not even trying to go offensively. You know, you keep getting that pressure put against you. Sooner or later, the puck is going to go in the net. You can't expect Riggin to keep coming up with those good saves.
Lipinski comes to center for Calgary. Hislop and Gould on the wings. Reinhart and Murdoch, the two defensemen. Once again, Philadelphia with Bobby Clark at center ice. Kerr parked to his left. Barber right behind him on this faceoff. Murray and Wilson, the other two for Philadelphia. Clark rooting for the draw and couldn't get it. Back of the net, that's Reinhart. Kopinski let it slide by to Hislop. And again, close quarters along the blue line. Against the boards, they hold it with 14:41 remaining. In regulation time, 3-1. Calgary leading Philadelphia. 2-0 at the end of the first period. No scoring so far here in this third. The shots, Philadelphia now 24 and a Calgary 20.
We look at general manager Cliff Fletcher. A lot of concern on his face. And the other day in Calgary, general manager Lou Nanne of the North Stars was there, and he was really giving it to him. The North Stars were in. Calgary had to win one. He said, a lot of fun, eh, Cliff? I don't know where you got those red blotches in your face from.
Nerve time.
Nerve time is right.
Callio on the right side. Clement was bumped right away, ran into a stone wall whose name happens to be Bridgman. Busnick gets a pass up to Cochran, gets it back again to center. It's shot in by Busnick off the boards. That's Plett bumping with his man. It hit the side of the net, comes right in front of the goal. And Busnick came close. Philadelphia still with it. That's Gorance. Now a penalty coming up against the Philadelphia Flyers. And these fans won't like that at all. Wait a minute. No, they're going to move it outside the line. It was a glove pass. Thought for a moment he had called one.
Well, again, the Flyers are putting the pressure on, and let's watch in front of the net. Some anxious moments for Riggin. Puck goes clear. Now a good effort here by the Flames to just deflect the puck into the corner.
And there's Hood with the hand up. You see that, the referee. It was a glove pass. It comes outside the line, and there's Clark breaking in with Kerr. He took a shot. It was blocked in front of the net by Reinhart. Houston played it back of the goal. MacMillan couldn't move it out. Reinhart knocked it down, moved it ahead. Calgary Flames going down the left side. That's Nilsson trying to cut in. A pass in front of the net. They score! Big goal by MacMillan from Nilsson, who has played a standout game for Calgary tonight. And it opens up another goal lead, and that's not bad for Calgary at this point.
What a big goal it was, but they call him magic in Calgary. Kent Nilsson we're talking about, one of the smoothest stick handlers, but again, he's given that blue line. Clark tries desperately to knock him off the puck. Now Nilsson just slides it in front. MacMillan is left uncovered there and deflects it by St. Croix. I was going to ask you about the strategy here, Howie, but perhaps
this is what the Flames are trying to do, just sit back.
Well, Gary, I thought they were playing Russian roulette by letting Philadelphia club come to them, but certainly that Nilsson put just a magnificent move on Bobby Clark, and from there it was all academic. He is a great hockey player.
6:09, the time of that goal makes it 4-1 Calgary, and that's a big lead now with time running out on the Philadelphia Flyers.
Scores for Calgary. The assist, Kent, Nilsson, Reinhart.
Reinhart and Nilsson assisted on that goal by MacMillan. 4-1 the score. Calgary a 3-goal lead. And it's getting late in the 7th game. Down the left side, Chouinard can't catch up to it. Or can he? Now he has it. Playing it over, but it's across the line and they're offside at the Philadelphia blue line. Again, that scoring play, MacMillan, his 6th of the playoffs from Nilsson and Reinhart at 6:09.
Howie, you've coached. When you're protecting a lead, would you rather send the 2 forecheckers in there and really put some strong forechecking of the Flyers, or hang back like the Flames are doing?
Gosh, no, I would say get that puck in as deep as you can and send 2 men in, and the only stipulation there is the 3rd man does not get caught. But golly, you got to forecheck that clubber. They're still in trouble. I'll tell you, if the Philadelphia team are allowed to walk up to that red line and get it in and dig deep and get a little energy, get 1 goal, anything can happen.
There's Wilson now inside his own blue line for Philadelphia, getting up to center ice. In goes Lindsman, stopping in front, tried to throw a soft one through, it didn't work. Now it goes to the side of the net. Lindsman again centered it, but right there is Popinski coming back out with Gould up to center. 3 of them go in now. Popinski to Gould. He took a shot off the shoulder of St.Croix. And here's Lindsman up at center ice for Philadelphia. Holmgren on the right, got the pass on the skate. Couldn't control it. It goes back of the net. Russell has Lindsman tied up. Holmgren comes in front, fighting for it, and Regan goes down. Sticks go up, a little pushing and shoving, but the linesman and the referee are in quickly to make sure they're apart. This is Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer, and Howie Meeker has joined us now in the broadcast booth here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We have 12:42 remaining in the 3rd period. This is Game 7 of the quarterfinals, and it's 4-1 at this point. Calgary leading. The Flames dumping it off the boards out to center ice. Cochran takes a swipe at it. Plitt stopped him. That's Plitt along the boards, and he's bumped there. And they hang on to it. They'll stop at every chance they get now. They whistle at them this time for a face-off in the Philadelphia zone. And I don't know, gentlemen, with 12:28 remaining, this guy here looking a little more relieved, but you never know. A 3-goal lead, it's a big one the way this Calgary team can play.
They're playing very disciplined, and who would have believed it? Nobody gave anybody a chance, except the players had confidence in themselves. The coaches were certainly very confident, and it showed in their play tonight. I can't say enough about the defense of the Flames, how they've taken the man so effectively on the boards, and one-on-one situation, they have done a job.
Kelly and Russell and Murdoch and Reinhart have just been outstanding.
Down back of the net, Busnick dropped it in the corner. Cochran will try to bring it out for Philadelphia. Up to center, that's stopped by Bridgman. He backhands one in, and Regan now pulling Rick St. Croix, goes down with the glove on it, and he holds it.
Well, we're having a lot of shots of Ed Snyder. The concern there, will the Flyers do it? They have been very successful over the years here in Philadelphia. Only one time in the first year of expansion, the St. Louis Blues won a 7th game. But then the first Stanley Cup, the Rangers were defeated in 7 games. The next Stanley Cup, the Islanders were defeated in 7 games. The next year, the Flyers did it to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So for the 5th time, a 7th game.
Things are looking pretty good now, Gary, for the Calgary Flames. They're 12-12 away from advancing to the Stanley Cup semifinal if they can hang on to this 3-goal lead. Here's Bobby Clark. He'll never quit. You can mark that one down. That's Leach on the boards. Leach has it. Tried to throw it into Clark, but he couldn't. With Marshall over him, and he hangs on to him and holds it with a skate. And again, they stop it for a face-off in the Calgary zone. 11:55 remaining in regulation time. Reminder that hockey continues in the quest for the cup. Minnesota at Calgary, or Rangers and Islanders Tuesday night. We invite you to check your local listings. We'll have that game one of those games for you on Hockey Night in Canada as Nilsson comes in, bidding for another maybe. Nilsson has played a great game tonight for Calgary. Lost it on this pass. That's Clark dogging it in. He faked the shot beautifully. Clark centered it. It went by everyone. Now the pass goes into the corner. MacMilllan is upended. Play goes right on. MacMilllan back on his feet. And now coming out is Nilsson again. Got away from that check thrown by Wilson along the boards. Wilson gets it back to his own side of center. Barber tipped it into the Calgary zone. Houston is going back. That's Lindsman poking it through the crease, but there was nobody there but red shirts, all belonging to Calgary, and he hooked a high one over the glass on the far side. Pat Quinn, the coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, looking very concerned back of the bench. Holmgren, Prop, and Lindsman are out there. Comes back. Murray took a shot. It hit a leg. Back here to Bailey. He took a drive. That was wide. Another shot by Murray, and that was blocked. Chouinard coming out, one man back. Plett is going in on this side. Here's Plett in front, and it's knocked away by Rick St. Croix. Set up beautifully, and St. Croix made the save. Knocked down by Lever in the center ice area. He got away from Lindsman. Now here's Plett. Plett dumped one on the boards. It's inside the Philadelphia line. Murray bringing it out with Lindsman at center. Look out, and he was bumped by Murdoch. Murdoch going down on the play. Now Murray winding up with Bailey starting back. Bailey coming down to center, shoots one in along the left wing boards, and it's back of the net with Russell after it, and 10:20 left in regulation time. 4-1, Calgary leading. That's Barber back up in his own zone. He tries to get it going. Barber going to the far side, doing it all alone. This time it's deflected, and it's into the crowd.
Well, anytime you start putting some pressure on, you be vulnerable for breaks against you, Howie, and Murray was allowed to get caught in the zone as a 2-on-1 break.
Well, I'll tell you, anytime you give that Chouinard the puck, you're really in trouble. He just walked around the defenseman, drew him over to him, just laid a beautiful pass on Plett's stick. St. Croix had to be very sharp to make it, to stop it from being 5-1.
And 09 left in regulation time. It's tipped down the ice. Gould can go if he gets some room. There's Gould on an angle, took the shot, and Rick St. Croix made the stick save. Calgary coming back to regroup. 9:55 left in regulation time. In back of the net, hit the back of the goal. Riggin had to cover up effectively with his stick. It nearly bounced in front. That's Bridgman back there. Bridgman for Philadelphia. Reinhart took him in on the boards. Now they slam around a bit in back of Riggin. Puck is still in play and loose. Popinski trying to knock it away. Hislop took a smack at it. It hit the boards, but still inside the line. Now Reinhart will try it. He got away from McLeish. That's Bridgman in the corner. Lobbed it back of the goal to Gorans. Radicalio tying him up. Bridgman trying to help. It bounced away from McLeish. Now it comes right in front of the net. And Wilson banged on a shot. McLeish from the corner. Back of the net, they center it. And it's rolled through the crease by Gorans. Barber couldn't stop it up the blue line, and it's down the ice again.
Well, you'll see Billy Barber now. He's normally playing the forward position. A lot of times Quinn will go with him back on defense using 4 forwards.
Nilsson trying to pick it up and couldn't. Al Hill is coming in with Leach, and he let one go. That was blocked in front of the net. Calgary doing a great job covering up in front of Riggin, giving him lots of protection and help now. With 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in regulation time. Calgary 4, Philadelphia 1. 7th game of these quarterfinals. Hill is offside, and it's called with 8:33 remaining. Gary, I don't know about Bobby Clark and the rest of the Philadelphia Flyers, but some of the 17,077 who usually jam in here have given up. They're starting to leave.
They're starting to file out. I can't believe it either.
Murdoch for Calgary shoots one in. Into the corner, it's back of the net. Plett went after it, couldn't pick it up. Chouinard does, though. There's Plett looking for it. He's fighting for possession, but Murray takes it back of the goal. Murray coming out, gets to the line. Try to pass ahead, but I'll tell you, Calgary is checking beautifully. They're all over them. They can't move, these Philadelphia Flyers. But there's somebody right there. There's Clark. He's checked by Plett. On the boards again. They're trying to hold it. Lever comes in to help, and they get a whistle with 7:59 remaining in regulation time. In the first, it was Plett and Houston power play goals. 2-0 Calgary. Then LaValle, a power play goal. in the second. 3-0 Calgary. Barber with his 11th of the series. And it was 3-1 to MacMillan here in the third. His 6th of the series at 6:09. That's the story now. Calgary 4 and Philadelphia 1 with time running out on the Philadelphia Flyers in Calgary. Trying to muster a victory here in the Spectrum, which has been difficult to do for many teams. Calgary full worth now. There's puck going in offside. And that'll happen more and more with close checking offside at that blue line.
Well, they haven't been sharp, and one of the reasons they haven't been sharp, Howie, is you got a red sweater all over you. It's tough to make plays and find that skating room.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but one fellow that has really been outstanding every time he comes on the ice, Willie Plett, the play swings out of the Calgary end, down deep into the Philadelphia end. I just think he's been wonderful tonight.
There's Clement. He fell. Barber slammed one off the boards and in. Comes out to Holmgren on the other wing. In back of the net is Lindsman. He has it. Now he's bumped by Russell. Can't get a pass away. Clement feeds it ahead. MacMillan knocked it out to the center ice area. 7:25 remaining in regulation time. And it's Lindsman coming in again. Tried a shot. He was covered by Marsh, and the shot was no good. Off the boards. It comes back in front to Lindsman. Tried to make a pass behind him. It's cleared down the ice. MacMillan hustling now. Barber trying to get back. MacMillan, beautiful play. Took a shot, and it's stopped by St.Croix. Great play, though, by MacMillan, pulling Barber. Back for prop for Philadelphia. He comes in with a drive up high, and it's grabbed by Riggin, and he holds on.
Well, we talked about the pride and the character of the Philadelphia Flyers the last couple of games, but let's talk about this red-jerseyed hockey club, the Calgary Flames, as we look at MacMillan coming down. Makes a good move here as Barber slides back, but I think MacMillan was a little tired, just about out of breath, and managed to get a shot. St. Croix, when he saw that MacMillan was struggling there, putting that head down, came down to cut down the angle. But this is a hockey club that has a lot of pride and discipline tonight.
Certainly has, and I think the Calgary fans are going to be tremendously proud of him if they can hang on.
Calgary trying to cover up. Poplinski does, gets it near the line. Gorens took the shot. Riggin has been sharp all evening. Beaten once, that by Barber, and that was like a bullet. Nobody could stop that one. It was high in the top right-hand corner. 6:30 left to play in regulation time. Calgary 4, Philadelphia 1. Now it's McLeish working his way across the line. Had it knocked away. Holmgren kept it in. Not for long, though. Calgary covering up, and Poplinski gets to center with Gould. Trailing the play is Hislop. It comes to Hislop. He was taken out of the play, and back for Philadelphia, McLeish. Gorens on the right. McLeish couldn't move it. Now Bridgman took a shot. It was deflected away from in front by Rodicalio. Comes back in front of McLeish. Quick shot is wide. It's cleared off the corner boards and bounces all the way back into the center ice area, and Gorens comes back. Gorens hitting Leach at center near the line. McLeish backhands one in. High and wide of the net. That's Hill after it. Into the corner. Leach had it bounce away from him. And it's Plett trying to move it out. He can't. Hill kept it in for Wilson. Ben Wilson's shot scooped away by Riggin. In back of the net. It's cleared near the line again. Gorens took a shot. That hit a leg. And it's chopped down the ice by Marsh with 5:25 remaining in regulation time. St. Croix out of the net. Into the corner it goes. Wilson starting away. A long rink-wide pass down to Clark. Clark speeding in for Philadelphia, dropping to Leach. A great save by Riggin as he did the splits and made the stick save, and it goes into the crowd. They're starting to file out of the Spectrum. Can you believe it? 5:14 remaining, a 3-goal lead built up by the Calgary Flames.
Bob, the Flyers really haven't put pressure occasionally, but they look like they're really tired and struggling right now. That 5 games that they had to play against the Nordiques, 7 in this series, may have taken its toll.
5:10 remaining. Calgary that far away from advancing to the semifinal. And it's chopped down the ice by the Calgary Flames. This one will be icing as Wilson goes back. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer and Howie Meeker in the broadcast booth here on the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup quarterfinals with 4:59 remaining in regulation time as you look at the Calgary bench, and it's 4-1 Calgary. There's the score. Flames 4 and the Flyers 1. Flyers have outshot Calgary 29-25 to this point. There's a shot from Wilson, and that's tipped away by Riggin. Marsh is over first. Holmgren checked him in on the boards. Cleared down the ice by Calgary. Barber is back. Got it up to Lindsman. Lindsman stopped by Bill Clement. Clement is upended, and there's going to be a penalty to Philadelphia. Gary, that will just about do it with 4:41 remaining.
Well, I think that was the undoing of the Flyers tonight, Howie, is those bad penalties in an area you have no business taking them.
Well, that's the type of penalty they picked up in the first period, and as you said, it hurt them tremendously, and I kind of think on a scale of 10, that's about a 6.5 dive, but nevertheless, they get the stick up that high under the conditions late in the game, down 3 goals, you just can't do that. And the fellow that did, I think, take the dive, Bill Clement, has just played super hockey tonight.
Well, both Clement and Chouinard have done ample duty against Ken Lindsman, who has been the leading scorer for the Flyers, but by golly, I got to give a lot of credit to Paget and McNeil, the 2 coaches of this hockey club. The Flames were down as low as you could go. They brought them up to a level of perfection by talking about positive things. There wasn't anything negative about their talking, and it showed in the Flames' play tonight.
On the opening faceoff, they took it right in from the draw at the start of this game and brought it right to the Flyers. And they've kept it up. And they're leading now 4-1 with 4:25 remaining in regulation time. Philadelphia shorthanded. They have to shoot it down the ice. Riggin covering up, tipped it back of the goal. Now here's Plett on this side. Shovels one ahead. Up across center. Nilsson tried to pick it up and could not. Gorens comes back for Philadelphia with Bridgman. That's knocked away from the danger area. LaValle, who has scored a goal for Calgary, gets it ahead. Nilsson, who's been very, very strong for this Calgary team tonight, controls it back in his own zone for Radicalio up to Reinhart. He's up over the line. Reinhart going in. Into the corner and back of the net. It's off the boards, and Bridgman has it. Bridgman back of the net for Murray. 3:40 left to play. 4-1 Calgary. Bailey knocked it into the corner on the other side. And Gorens tried to move it out along the boards. Can't do it. That's Plett over there fighting for it, and he comes up with it. Plett back of the net, he centered it. Chouinard takes a look up the line. Radicalio, he took a shot. That's knocked away by Murray, but not out. Finally, they flip it up to center ice with 35 seconds left in the Philadelphia penalty. 3:15 left in regulation time, and it's all but over for the Philadelphia Flyers against these Calgary Flames. Lindsman coming up for Philadelphia, breaking in. Couldn't get his shot through. It was tipped by Murdoch away from Riggin. Now Lindsman ran into his man on the boards. Bill Clement, 2:50 left to play, regulation time. And that's Barber knocking it down. Back it goes to Cochran. It's gloved ahead and called with 2:50 remaining.
The Calgary Flames, first time they've ever been in a semifinal series, a 7th game in Philadelphia. Boy, you gotta hand it to them.
They can feel it now. You can see on the Calgary bench, they're starting to move about. They know it's all but done. They came here to Philadelphia, fought hard, checked well, broke through, got the power play working, and it's 4-1 with 2:40 remaining in regulation time. But Lindsman, doggedly, staying with it. Hit across the line is Lindsman. For Barber, he can't control it, and Billy Barber looks very, very tired for Philadelphia now. The goaltender, Rick St. Croix, rushing out of the net. The Philadelphia net is empty. Pulling out all the stops now is Pat Quinn with an extra man on. And they go in across the line. Holmgren passed it over in front, and Riggin will scoop it up and hang on to it with 2:14 remaining. The Philadelphia net empty, an extra man on, and it's 4-1 Calgary.
And half the people in the spectrum have left. There's Rick St. Croix on the bench. But the Flyers have just not been able to generate any kind of an offense. That fearful forechecking that they are so accustomed to doing has been absent. They look tired, but you got to give the Calgary Flames a lot of credit. They checked at every opportunity. They were right on top of the Flyers, not giving them that room, especially in their own zone. I thought that was a tremendous effort, not giving up that second shot.
What the 2 coaches of the Calgary Flames were talking about before this game tonight, Gary, and you could see it happen. That second effort, something that was missing before, the second effort.
Well, I certainly believe that the Flames were intimidated here the first time they came into Philadelphia. Also game number 5. But this wasn't the case tonight. They made up their mind that they would just, whatever they received from the Flyers, they would give back. And they have done just that.
Now the Philadelphia net is empty. Bobby Clark comes in. The draw goes in back of the net. Holmgren spun around. He couldn't make a play for it. On the far side, along the boards, it comes loose. Calgary can't move it out. That's Holmgren, had it knocked away. Lever pushed it toward the line. Prop stopped it there. Got it in front. Now Calgary will clear it out of the zone, or will they? Yes, on a second effort again they do. Plitt was belted at center ice by Prop and sent flying. Here's McLeish coming in. A shot is tipped away by Riggin. Clark centered one. Right down in front of the net, and it's cleared softly down the ice by Russell. A good play by the Calgary defenseman. Minute 35 left in regulation time, and the Calgary Flames have all but done it now and have advanced to the semifinals in search of the Stanley Cup. 4-1 the score with 1:25 left. We have a moment. I want to say a big thank you to our statistician tonight, Eddie Milliken. As you see down below us there, they're pushing and shoving. Lindsman in the middle of it with MacMilllan.
Well, MacMilllan can take a punch now. He's probably saying to Lindsman, go ahead, give it your best shot now. We've got this game well under control, and you wonder about the next series. Calgary might be tired at this time against a rested Minnesota North Stars hockey club. General Manager Lou Nanne, he felt that the North Stars would have a better time of it against Calgary than they would against the Flyers, but we'll see. Going into the Corral has not been a good place to play. Teams have had difficulty winning there. And there's a timeout now for the Flyers. Their last grasp, or whatever.
The grasp has left them, Gary. It's all but gone. 1:25 left in regulation time. 4-1 Calgary. 2-0 at the end of the first period. 3-1 at the end of the second. And a goal by MacMilllan here in the third. But as you pointed out earlier, the power play goals, the first 3 were all in a power play. The penalties played such an important part of this hockey game, and it kind of set the tone.
Well, Pat Riggin gave up 9 goals here in game 5. And I guess if you were a forward from the Flyers, we solved Riggin. We got his number now. But has that guy played tonight? But he has had help from the defense. He has made the first save, and you always depend on your defense to clear that rebound, and have the Flames ever done that effectively?
Pat Quinn, the coach of the Flyers, with the net empty, has called his timeout, and I think they're ready to go now. It'll be inside the Calgary line with only 1:25 left.
And more games at the Calgary Corral. They'll be going crazy in Calgary.
They're happy at this moment, let me tell you. Here it comes back near the line, but they were out of position. The clock did not move. Still 1:25 remaining.
And so that still stands. When a team has led by 3-1, nobody has ever come back from that position and won. From 3-0 a team has won, but not from 3-1.
That's Kerr in to take the draw against Billy Clement. And again, they're very anxious. Now they drop it in. It comes back. Wilson took the shot, blocked. It's kicked away from the net. MacMilllan took a swipe at it. Can't move it out. Another shot by Lindsman. Now Clement will clear it. He'll make few mistakes when he gets an opportunity like that. Picked the opening beautifully. 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this one. And Calgary will be on to the semifinals. Leading Philadelphia 4-1 with 1 minute left to play. There's Wilson keeping it in for Philadelphia. But they're done now. Calgary, full value, clearing into the line. Lindsman coming in. Barber took a shot. That was blocked by Marsh, who fell. Comes loose to Lindsman. Scramble for it. It goes back of the net with 40 seconds remaining. Knocked into the corner. Lindsman again. He couldn't get a stick near it. Marsh played it on the boards. Houston holding him there with a skate. 34 seconds, 33 seconds remaining in regulation time.
Well, you got to give it to and hand it to the Flyers. They keep battling, but the legs have just not been there tonight. The forechecking that was so evident in the last couple of games did not materialize. a happy Calgary Flames bench. And Cliff Fletcher, wherever you are, I'm sure you can give a sigh of relief right at this moment. And now you can go against your old buddy, Lou Nanny and the North Stars.
I believe now Calgary has called a timeout. Al McNeil, I think that is what has happened. Yep.
Calgary calls a 30-second timeout.
Bruce Hood at the far side, and a timeout called by Calgary.
How about that Willie Plett, though? Did he come to play tonight? I can just see him in the dressing room.
You mentioned, Gary, earlier that he was one.
And to win it for a guy, that's the guy that they were talking about winning it for. They wanted to do it in Game 6. It did not happen. But tonight, the game for Bert Wilson and themselves. And I'm sure Bert feels pretty good about that.
You were talking earlier, Gary, I was about to say about Willie Plett being the one man you knew on this Calgary team could help get his team up high before this game.
Well, you know, it's very difficult for a guy to say, let's go out there and hit and do this if you're not a hitter. You know, that the other players will just look at you and kind of smirk. But Willie Plett can do that. I mean, every time he's out there at home or on the road, he's going to go charging into those corners and make things happen, and he did tonight.
Only 33 seconds remaining. Gorans had his shot blocked by Lever. Another shot by Leach, deflected wide. Prop keeping it in, 25 seconds left, he fell. Hill centered it, there's Houston. Open side, it goes off the boards down the ice with 15 seconds remaining in regulation time. 4-1 Calgary. And that'll be it. Here's Bobby Clark coming in with 9 seconds left. It's tipped near the blue line. And now will be cleared by Houston again. That'll do it. 2 seconds left and this thing is over. And the Calgary Flames are jubilant. They're out on the ice, having defeated the Philadelphia Flyers in the 7th game here in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And they go on to the semifinals in Stanley Cup 81. They're happy, Gary.
Absolutely. Well, we saw the character, the desire of the Calgary Flames tonight. When you can go walk into Philadelphia in a 7th game and win, baby, you have done a job. The Flames have certainly done it, and they should be proud of the accomplishment. Pat Quinn, subdued. He was over there shaking hands with Pierre Pagé and Al McNeil. Pat Reagan, what a performance he had here tonight in game number 7. I like the Willie Plett and Paul Holmgren shaking hands and talking about the hits that those two guys have administered tonight.
And talking about the type of game played by one Kent Nilsson. Had been hurt, came back here tonight, and he played a marvelous hockey game for Calgary.
Well, the diehards in Philadelphia are around, and you see Billy Clement, who in Buffalo had scored that clinching goal. Bob Kelly got the first one, and Bill Clement earlier or late in the game got that clincher, and here he is helping to defeat the Flyers, a team that he won 2 cups for.
There's Bobby Clark. He does not go down easy. It has to be tough on a guy like Clark. You're talking about in the twilight of his career, I don't know. He's had 5-game series with Quebec, and now this one's 7. I guess everybody is tired.
Well, he's disappointed, there's no question about that, but as long as Clark is around, there will always be that winning attitude here in Philadelphia.
Well, there you go, Gary.
Jim Poplinski, Kenny Houston, the guy in front of the net along with Plett.
Holt.
There's big Willie C. But Pat Reagan, the man of the hour, he did a number, and we finally see Pagé and McNeil smiling.
So it'll be a happy plane ride back to Calgary.